Unless you agree with them, you are not a good American. Some of us resent that. Some on the left are even willing to demand a military government in our country as long as it's sufficiently anti-Moscow. Think we're overstating? We're not. Stephen Cohen, a different one, this one an elected representative, a Democrat from Memphis, Tennessee, tweeted this today, quote, "Where are our military folks? The commander-in-chief is in the hands of our enemy." So here you have an elected representative calling for a military coup in our country in the name of democracy. Richard Goodstein is a lawyer. He advised both Hillary Clinton's presidential campaigns. He joins us tonight. Are you comfortable with that, Richard? No. Here you have an elected official calling for a military coup in the name of preserving democracy. Now, look, there are parts of the press conference I didn't care for, but that's a different level of extremism. Calling for a coup? I haven't heard anyone mention that. This is a member of Congress. What do you think of that?
I don't think that Stephen Cohen of Tennessee is calling, if you know him, he's not calling for any kind of military coups. Here's
what was he saying? Wait, hold on. What was he saying?
He's saying the president took an oath to preserve, protect, and defend the United States of America. Dick Cheney said
that's not what he said. He said, and I'm quoting, I'm looking at it, "Where are our military folks? The president is in the hands of the enemy." He's calling on the United States military, which, of course, serves under the president of the United States, to take action to rectify this situation where the president is in the hands of the enemy. That's lunatic.
No.
Okay? This is a member of Congress. You can't concede that that's lunatic? It's crazy?
I think the point he's trying to make is the following. For Donald Trump to be standing right next to Putin and be incapable, the guy who said, "You're fired," is incapable of challenging face-to-face anybody. He couldn't do it at the G7, he couldn't do it at NATO, and he couldn't do it today. And again, Dick Cheney is the one. Let me just finish this sentence. Dick Cheney said this attack by the Russians was an act of war. So what Stephen Cohen is basically saying is Putin, I mean, for whatever he's got on Trump or nothing, Trump seems to be doing his bidding. And that's of concern to every American.
Wait, you know what? No, hold on. No. Maybe he has a different view of it than you do. That does not make him a traitor to his country. That does not make him a quisling. It does not make him someone who should be overthrown by a military coup. People have policy differences. Some people think Russia is the preeminent threat to America. Others don't. Trump is in the latter category. That does not make him a traitor.
Well, I didn't say
do you understand the distinction? Or have we gotten to a place where it's okay to call people traitors if you disagree with their policy?
No. Listen, Tucker, Newt Gingrich and Mitt Romney and, go through the list of McConnell
care what party
and Paul Ryan.
there is.
I know you don't care what they say, but
care.
They're not lefties, okay? You can't assign...
I'm not saying they are. No, but I'm not... You're totally missing it. This is not a left-right thing. This is a neocon realist thing.
Well,
so people who thought the Iraq War was a great idea and think that we should overthrow Assad in Syria and barge into Lebanon and remake the world and hope it works this time, those people are deeply offended. It's not a left-right thing. It's a ruling class versus everybody else thing, and you know that. But can we just pull back from calling each other traitors?
Absolutely, but I would quote your Fox colleague, Neil Cavuto, who said it's disgusting, and it's not a left-right thing. He said it's a right or wrong thing, and I agree with him. It's wrong.
That's okay. You may think it's wrong, but we should establish a line, and the line is this. You don't call people unpatriotic for the crime of disagreeing with you. Like, for example, I'll ask you this question. Do you really believe that Russia there's no defense of Russia. I'm not that interested in Russia. But do you really believe they're a preeminent enemy in the world, bigger than China? Do you really think they're the most immoral country in the world, more immoral than Saudi Arabia? Do you really think that? Because everyone on television is pretending that today. Why?
Sorry that I'm using Dick Cheney as a frame of reference. He's the one who said what the Russians did was an act of war.
I'm asking...
China actually hasn't done acts of war.
You think
against us.
So China is less... No, but let's have an adult conversation really quick. In 1 minute we have. Do you really believe that Russia is a greater threat to America's interests than China?
I think that Russia, left to its own devices, I think left to its own devices, Russia would undermine our democracy. I think China would take us on economically, happily, okay? But I don't think China is out to get us.
But they're not really a threat to us.
Well, I'm just saying.
Because everyone in D.C. is on their payroll.
And I think and for every day that Donald Trump shows himself unable to stand up to Putin, every foreign leader in the world is going, hell, maybe we should kind of gain some ground on the U.S. too. That's the concern.
Yeah. I'm a little baffled by the lack of perspective. And again, by the way, I've never for a minute doubted and never will doubt that Russia seeks to undermine us. They have for 100 years. They'll continue to do it. But, like, let's be real. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, Richard, thank you. Great to see you.
My pleasure. Thank you.